Hello again. Jared Reed here with a little session from the third chapter of The Traveler's Experience. The launch date is February 11th, 2023, and we're going to be launching in just a few weeks. Here it is, Synergy of the Mind. I hope you guys can see that. This is the cover design, Synergy of the Mind by Jared Reed. Going to be available on Amazon. I just figured I'd read you the first chapter. The first chapter is actually entitled The Third Chapter because this entire book is the third chapter. Shay was charged again with excited kinetic energy. He glowed light from his center and saw his hand appearing slightly against the backdrop of the earth below, getting smaller. The energy pulsed through him, providing his mind with a familiar frame of reference to attach to. He had hands again, though he could see right through them. His legs appeared beneath him. He reached up to touch his hands to his face and touched nothing. Again, his human form faded away. His spirit floated upward, away from the earth. He was much farther away now. He was shocked with electrical energy. This time, it pulsed through his consciousness and into his mind. He could see his fingers and slightly feel his body again. He glowed with a light, a blue and white color emanating from his clear body. A cloud of white light appeared around him. He was being pulled. Some unseen force grabbed him as a whole. A star in the distance flickered brighter than the rest. It became luminous and solid. Then he could see it was getting closer. It was a beam of white prismatic light coming toward him. He flinched when the light beam struck him in the chest and jolted him from his core to the tips of his fingers. In an instant he flew, rushed away from the earth. The moon, Luna, came into view, a huge sphere of white and gray cratered dust. Oh, he knew what this was. This was familiar to him. Luna caught him. The moon became just a dot in his vision as he traveled violently along the light beam, bouncing off of unseen walls. It was painful to hit the wall of the beam. He was traveling, tumbling through space faster than the speed of light. He was being jerked to one side and pulled to the other. It felt like he was flying recklessly, and Luna was correcting his course. Each time she did, it felt like he was slapped, punched, and kicked. It felt like he was falling down a flight of stairs, and the stairs were jumping out at him at random. It hurt. He cried out as he flipped head over heels along the beam, spinning wildly out of control. Then the force corrected his trajectory again like a punch in the nose with a crack of thunder. He flew out of a cloud of rocks and debris. The Kuiper Belt, he thought, and he cleared the asteroid belt. A blue sphere of cloudy gas flew by his vision in a brilliant blur. That was Neptune, the god of the sea. His flight stabilized and aligned him within the beam of light. His course was corrected. A cloud of white formed behind him and glimmered with lightning bolts. Another flare of bright light pulsed, and he was catapulted forward faster now along the beam. His course was steadier now. He gently swayed from one side to the other, bending in arcs like snowboarding down the side of a steep mountain. He passed by a humongous red dwarf star, enormous curls of brilliant red solar flares sweeping up from the surface. Then the red dwarf was gone, and he spiraled again, out of control. He slammed into one side of the beam and tumbled forward. He spun out and then came to a calm yet focused course through space. A blue and purple cloud of gas appeared in the distance. Green gas clouds passed through the purple changing scene. The whole right side of his vision was filled with the cloud nebula. Wow, he whispered to himself. The cloud disappeared from his vision and was gone. He passed by brilliant blue stars and orange stars. Some stars had planets and moons around them. He could just make them out and flew right by. There were ships down there, flying around like lightning bugs with streams of light behind them. He was pulled into a red and yellow cloud formation. Pillars of red and orange streaked past his eyes. He could see there were planets down in those nests of clouds and stars. Where was he going? He passed through and out of the Orion Nebula into the black void of space, traveling faster again on the racetrack of light. A purple and green orb appeared before him. He gracefully swept to the right along the light track. The beautiful planet below was very close now. He could see lights of the cities below, lighting up the dark side surface. Ships came up from the surface, and others descended into the atmosphere. It was the planet Alora. He knew this place. He and the others traveled by this planet on their way to deliver his daughter. And then it was a small dot behind him. Was he going to that planet nested in the clouds? He wondered about that for a moment. Then he knew. He was going to see his daughter. Luna was blessing him again. He loved Luna. She was the best that ever lived. He smiled and became extremely happy, anxious now. He laughed a little to himself and began to enjoy the ride. He knew where he was. He knew where he was headed. He left the fear behind him and let his excitement run freely. He saw the familiar cloud nebula. It was the one. He flew into the clouds along the light beam, elated. His emotions were lifted when he began to slow down. The clouds passed by slower now. He floated along the light beam and saw a strange shape, stationary in the distance. It was a starship. The green-blue plumes and wisps of fusion energy lit the ship from behind. The light beam was coming from the ship. He could see the planet now, though he was still very far away. The beautiful planet spun slowly, nestled in the clouds, lit by a bright pink star. He wasn't going to the planet, though. He was traveling to the ship. Slower now, the starship got larger and filled his vision. It was an elegant design. One section of the hull flowed into the next. The bulk of its mass was at the rear, where the engines jutted out from each side, port and starboard, and another along the ventral axis on top. The engines were a part of the ship. There were no jagged lines. It was all symmetrical curves and bulbs. The masses curved forward to the front of the ship, dotted with thousands of small lights from the windows. He could see the shapes of humanoids inside, walking in the hallways, but they were not humans at all. They were Alora. Most of them were Alora. It was an Alora military vessel. He felt the pulse of energy again, lighting his spirit from within. The buzz was electric and steady. It got louder as he got closer. He felt a slight vibration between his mind and his spirit. It was a constant vibration he felt everywhere in and through him. Slowly passing through the spire at the base hull of the starship, he met no resistance. He passed through the bulkheads, in and through hallways, through walls, furniture, and control consoles. He was there and not there, in spirit. He passed through another wall into a bright white room. The room was busy with humanoids dressed in all white, masks over their faces and clear eye protection that darkened when he entered the room. He was the bright light in the room now. The overhead lights fluttered and flashed and flickered. He felt the sensation of butterflies in his stomach, vibrating in unison with the flickering lights. He drifted closer to a bed in the central part of the room. His body was laying on the bed. The translucent skin of the male Alora body was dark. It was without life. Luna stood beside the bed, her hands stretched out above the body, palm facing down. A light orb came from her hand, connecting her energy with the man. Her other hand faced Shay, light pulsing from her and pulling him closer to her. No, not closer to her, closer to the bed, closer to the body on the bed. She was connecting Shay's spirit with the lifeless male body. He drifted up and over the man on the bed. Luna focused all her energy into the transition. She grimaced with the effort, pulling and pushing Shay into position. She finally brought him to stillness. Then she began to slowly join Shay with the Allura body. Holding Shay with one hand, she lowered him down to the man and into him. Shay became that man. Light came from beneath the Allura man's skin, illuminating him from within. Blue and white light coursed through the Allura veins. Light energy pulses could be seen traveling from one nerve to the next. He took in a breath of fresh recycled air and filled all 3 lungs. He exhaled, then sighed. What a strange experience, the sensation of being reborn. Shay opened his Allura eyes. Luna was smiling down at him, tired and happy as could be. That is like giving birth, I swear to you, and trust me, I know. I've given birth on multiple occasions. Luna sighed and placed a hand on Shay's shoulder. Shay giggled with her a bit at her attempt at levity. She was beautiful and completely unlike her human representation. Her eyes were a bright yellow, and her skin tone was a mild purple like a lilac flower. She was not Allura. She was a different race. Definitely not human. What was she? He took another deep breath and sat up in bed with some effort. The bed automatically rose up to meet his back and cushioned him. He rested and the bed lowered again. Luna helped him sit up. Easy now, easy. Take it slow, Shay. How do you feel? He rested his head back. I feel, he groaned, rubbing muscles in his arms. Sore. Oh my God, I'm so sore. He laughed into the pain. Well, I bet you are. It was not an easy trip for you. You had a hard time up there accepting the traveler's experience. Your human mind didn't want to accept leaving your body behind. You had a very difficult time calming your travel. You struck the walls and almost drifted away from my control many times. I almost lost you. I know that must have been painful. Luna held his Allura hand, now coursing with new life and energy. Between that and your body being in stasis all these years, I bet you're sore. We reanimated your original Allura body, Shay. This is your true form. Your body has never been used, and we did a lot of work to get you ready for... What? Ready for you. We thought you might be coming home soon, Nick said with a sly smile, uncovering his face from the mask and eye protection. You son of a bitch! Shay was pissed. The white light in his veins turned a bright red. He flinched to get up and go after the man, but was stopped by the pain of the rebirth and fell back to the bed with a protesting groan. I get it, man. You're angry with me. I get that. But you really have to ask yourself why now. Things have changed drastically. You are no longer trapped within that limited human form. Your daughter is safe with her family here on the planet below. You're safe. She is safe. And it all worked out. Nix laughed through the words in an obnoxious, hefty, annoying laugh. He waited for Shay's reaction with wide eyes and a stupid smile. You are way too arrogant to be leading us, Nix. You took everything I ever had and smashed it into smithereens. I don't even know who I am anymore. Shay held up his weird-looking hand and watched his red energy cool into white, calm light again. Or what I am? You are Allura. You were born Allura. You have always been Allura. When you were unborn, your mother got into some very violent trouble with the dark matter beings. She was pregnant with you when she died. I tried everything I knew to stop that, but I couldn't. I couldn't stop her from dying. She was all I had. I lost her. And I was about to lose you too until I realized you could be saved. Juno came to us when she died and helped me realize that. He could place you in a human body on Earth and you would live. You would survive. We saved you. You lived to breathe human breaths. You fought human struggles. You felt human feelings. You experienced human love. But you are not human at all. You have been Laura your whole life as a human. I know. Quite the mind fuck, right? But it's true. Nix had love in his voice. So, if you were with her when she died, who was she to you? Your wife? Nix nodded. Yeah, she was the love of my life. The only love I've ever known. Besides you. Shay was bewildered. So that makes me yours? I'm your son? You are my son. I gave your mother my seed and began your life. Why do you think I moved the stars to save you? Nix waited. Shay knew it was true, though he had a tough time accepting it. Shay had a hard time accepting all that was happening. It was a lot to take in, but he knew it was true. This is a hell of a lot to handle right now, I know. Just know that I did everything for you. Maybe try to realize that not everything that happens to you in life is happening to you. Rather, it is happening for you. I'm very happy you're home, Shay. I have waited for this day for a long time. Welcome to the Aleutiana. My ship, my home. You are welcome here. Nix patted his son's hand and left his side. He turned back and faced Shay. Oh, when you're ready, please join me on the bridge. Nix left the white room. The door slid closed behind him like the spreading of a bird's wing. Fuck! Shay rested back. The hospital bed adjusted to his movement, allowing him to lay flat. Luna came to his side and grabbed his hand tight with love. Shay, my time here is over. I have to return to Alora now. Contact me anytime for anything you need. If you have any questions or trouble adjusting to your new body, please reach out to me. Expect some difficulty, but I'm here for you. Luna smiled down at him. Shay returned the smile through a grimace of discomfort. Thank you, Luna, for all that you do, for all that you've done for us. Thank you. I love you, Shay. You all are my family out here. Rest well and enjoy your new life. Luna let him go. She glided out of the room, not by the door, but through the wall in a flash of white light. They were gone. The medical room was silent, but for the hum of the engines vibrating the deck and small pings of medical instruments measuring his and others' life signs. There was one nurse sitting at a desk across the room. Shay asked, "Can you dim the lights in here, please? I feel like I could sleep for a year." The bright lights in the room dimmed to a soft amber glow. Shay relaxed, took a deep breath, and closed his eyes.